Dragon Ball Figuart drops on Premium Bandai are made to order with a limited time window. Don't miss out at the link in the description.
Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here, and welcome to another Dragon Ball Figuarts review. Honestly, this was a character not only was I really looking forward to for so long, but several others were looking forward to as well. We have the original legendary Super Saiyan Broly, GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and now we have another non-canon character in the lineup. We have the SH Figuarts Cooler. Yeah, final form, baby. Woo! All right. Enough celebrating. Now, this was a premium Bandai release, meaning one production run, one order window that closed, and it's done. So if you missed out, you're on the aftermarket now, which is why it's always important to order when you have the chance, because if you don't like it when it releases, then guess what? You can go ahead and you can sell it. Not a big deal. Now, if you are looking to pick this up, well, you got to deal with the aftermarket, and Cooler definitely has gone up in price. And that is definitely going to be what these reviews are for. So, let's take a look to see whether or not Frieza's Cooler brother is worth adding into your collection. Spoiler alert, I got some stuff to show you. To be fair, a good amount of the things that I'm about to show you, I didn't notice. What's this going to be here? That's going to be about 10 inches away from the rotating table, the turntable that I have there in my camera. I didn't really notice any of the issues here about that length away. However, looking at it up close and personal, that's where we begin to see some of the issues that honestly, if I didn't miss the window with Premium Bandai to maybe talk to them about customer service, maybe I should have done that. What am I talking about? Well, first and foremost, in terms of like the paint application and so forth, yeah, honestly, you may have a couple of issues here and there with the blues on the, what are those going to be? The gems that are going to be all throughout Cooler. You know, we got them on the head, we got it on the arms. Okay, so, you know, maybe some small issues there. You may have some over blending and so forth, you know, a little bit of bleed over because the masking wasn't done properly. The shading on Cooler, though, yeah, that's really primo, and that's pretty awesome, especially on my unit. Not a whole big issue there. And honestly, when it comes to working in the engineering for Cooler, aesthetically, everything is really nice. However, when we take a real close look here, especially at the chest, we begin to see an issue, particularly on my unit. I don't know if this is going to affect other units, but you'll notice that on his left portion on his bosom, you'll notice that it looks like there were some air bubbles. Yeah, that's really disheartening. And then once I saw that, you also see it on the right side as well. So it's not only just on the left, it's going to be on the right side. That's a big oof. Then you're going to see it on his legs, and you're going to see it in a couple places on his right forearm. So it's not just in this one spot isolated. Honestly, kind of wherever there's going to be the white, this showed up as well. So something tells me something went amiss in the factory, and this kind of showed up. So it's a bit disappointing that this did happen. Now, again, I didn't notice it until it was up close and personal. So aside from this issue, otherwise, Cooler really does look good. All right, Cooler's articulation. Generally speaking, I think this is about the best that they could have done with this guy. There are a couple of things that maybe they could have improved on, but hey, you know, we got to give credit where credit is due. So what's going on here? Well, we'll go ahead and just pop Cooler's head off here, so this way you can kind of see what's going on. So as you can see, the head plugs in on a ball joint, which is really cool, and that's going to allow you to move the head around. Now, as you can see, it's a barbell or double access ball joint, so yeah, that one is super tight, so it's kind of hard to move. So you're not really going to see me throughout this video use that point of articulation. The neck joint here, for some SH Figuarts, that moves on a ball joint and is rather fine. For here, though, on mine, it seems to only want to move in hinge movement forward and back. I can't really get side-to-side movement, but it does kind of want to twist and turn. So I don't know what joint that is, aside from maybe a stuck ball joint, but it is what it is. So based on what I have here, you know, Cooler can look up that far and basically can look directly down, which is good because, you know, his signature attacks, you know, not only from fighters, but also in the movie, you know, he's basically looking down, shooting beams, throwing balls, so on and so forth. All right, shoulders. What do we got? Well, he's got these big pads that are going to move in and out on hinges or swivels, depending on how you look at things, which is really cool. Very nice. Now, for the shoulders in and of themselves, they are going to have butterfly hinges, kind of, sort of. Do they have ball joints? No, they're just going to move in and out. So no matter how hard you try, you can't move them up, can't move them down, which is really cool. That's going to be the range of movement. Going to have ball joints where they plug in so you can get some rocking movement there, which is really cool. And they are going to hinge up and down. So this way you can get cooler to T-pose, and that's going to be the range of movement for how far they move up. Now, what's rather interesting is you can actually see in this picture here, they did have to use some lubricant in order to make sure that at ship, my cooler anyway, had some looseness to the joints and it wasn't super duper stuck. As some of you may know, cooler was made in Vietnam, and some of the figures that came out of Vietnam had a couple of issues with some really, really stuck shoulder joints, along with bicep joints as well. So this is definitely something that at least they're trying to address, even if not at the molding stage. So what else does cooler have? Well, we are going to have bicep swivels that can spin all the way around. As you know, this is rather important because the super powered, full, hulked up Broly, he only had a limited range of movement for his bicep swivel, so that's good. We do have double hinge elbows, as you can see here. Moves just like that, and that is the extent of the range of movement. For hands, typical SH Figuarts style, wherein we are going to have a hinge to move the wrists. They're going to swivel, and then the hands plug in on a ball joint, or even sometimes a peg. Cooler, it's a ball joint. We do have a ball jointed ab crunch, which is very cool. You can spin cooler all the way around on that. Cooler is pretty cool. Now, here's a real interesting thing that's going on here. Some folks have reported that cooler's hip joints have exploded on them, and I think I know what's kind of going on. So, cooler is going to have a ball jointed waist. So he can rock forward and back and kind of rock side to side. He is also going to have the 2.0 style hip joints, or very similar to the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Is it 3.0? No, it's 2.0. So he can kick forward and back, but his butt sort of blocks it, so not really all that far back. But if you do move him out kind of sort of to the side, you can get him to do that. And then he's going to be able to do the splits. What's going on here? You can kind of see that I'm really pushing it. That's not really working. I wonder. So what's kind of sort of going on here, so it seems, is it looks like, let me see if I can do it again. It looks kind of sort of not really like cooler's waist joint. I was able to do this the other day. Is blocking some of the articulation in the hips. And when it is blocking the articulation in the hips, come on. I think I can get it. All right, here we go. When it's blocking the articulation in the hips, you can't move the leg. So this is a rather extreme example. Let me go ahead and try to zoom in, and I'll crank the exposure. Pardon the brightness. You see right there, see exactly what I mean. I'll go ahead and I'll move them out of the way. See what's going on there? Yeah. So what I think might just be going on there is that some folks have unfortunately experienced moving the waist joint and having a portion of his torso move into the range of movement for the hips. Something to keep in mind. All right, so we have thigh swivels. Cool. Double hinge knees. Very nice. Ankles. Typical Figuarts style, as if we would have in the wrist, which you can actually pop these off. Now, the joint actually goes in at a slight angle, as you can see here, and that's actually going to be used when you swap the feet parts for cooler. So, ankle rocker, hinge forward and back, all good. Cooler's tail. Cool, but they sculpted it weird. So, cooler's got a little bit of an indent here, but it's sculpted in such a way that the tail curves like that. So you get the indent here at the top and then here at the bottom. So if you were to do, like, let's say this, that looks awkward. You do that, it looks okay, but you don't get as much range of movement. So I don't know. But yes, we are going to have a swivel hinge combo for the tail where it plugs into the base, and then part way through, which looks cool. So overall, for Cooler's articulation, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's satisfying enough. Neck is pretty weird, but generally speaking, I don't really know what else they could have done, except for maybe engineering it just a little bit better to increase the range of movement wherever they may have been able to do that. Thumbs up. Accessories, and what does Cooler come with? Okay, well, he's going to be at about $88 or so at MSRP, I think, and then they charge you tax and shipping, so price is definitely going to go up from there. Cooler is going to come with a set of really splayed hands, a set of sort of cupped but still splayed hands, a set of pointing hands, left and right, so he can use his energy effects. He's going to come with a set of curled toes, because the toes are super important, and he's going to come with an unmasked faceplate. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And swapping out the faces is relatively easy to do, but when I first had to do it, his crown, the spikes, that was such a pain to pop off. I honestly thought that something was wrong, like maybe it was glued, but once I was able to do that, now it interchanges with ease. So just give it a go. If it's too difficult, use heat, you'll be fine. Now, the quality control for the unmasked face looks really nice. No issues there, and it's really cool to see that. Now, for the other accessories, Cooler, once again, is going to have a set of really sort of splayed out hands. He's going to come with a set of splayed hands, but more so cupped, if you will, and then he's going to come with some blasting hands with a finger pointed out. There's a joke there, but I don't know if the YouTube algorithm is going to pick up on that and just give me a strike of some kind. So if you know, you know. Now, rather short, sweet, and to the point here, yeah. That's kind of it for Cooler. The tail comes detached in the box, so perhaps that's an accessory as well. And then, of course, we do have the curled up feet, which that's great as well. I'm not going to downplay the accessories here. What we get is really nice. However, I do kind of feel that, we have Frieza, who came with, even if it was a small energy ball and a death beam, we couldn't have at least gotten the death beam reused for Cooler here. Yeah, it's a little disappointing there aren't any effect parts, or even a stand, because he is a pretty big guy, even for you. So if you are looking for additional effect parts or support stands, I got videos to help you out. And if there isn't a card popping up in the top corner of your screen, head on over to my channel, or you can even just throw those titles into YouTube. Those videos are actually quite popular. Self-brag. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a size comparison where you can definitely see this is pretty much where the price went into effect, along with the rather nice engineering. The size. Cooler definitely is going to be a very large item on your shelf, so you are going to have to clear just a little bit of space. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Generally, Cooler is rather rock solid if you're able to pick them up closer to MSRP. Overall, in terms of the quality control for Cooler, at least on my particular unit, remember my philosophy. I got this one. This one was shipped to me. You could have gotten it too, so I have to review it based on that idea. Yeah, quality control definitely could have been tightened up to avoid that air bubbling issue causing the damage to the sculpt. That's disappointing. But otherwise, the paint is pretty much no issues there. We have nice shading. The masking on mine is really good. The accessories, not the best. We could have definitely at least gotten a support stand, but we have some nice expressive parts, and the articulation is really good. I'm surprised they were able to get as much range as they could out of this big guy. So if you are looking to get them, again, as close to MSRP as you possibly can, but with the nature of premium Bandai, prices are only going to go up. They don't come back down.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.